Hey there, everybody. It's your friend, your ally, the ever-loving Levite Lost, coming at you once again. This time I want to talk about Astro City, uh, Volume 1, Life in the Big City. This one was first published in 1995, 1997, I think. And it's written by the same guy. It's the same, pretty much the same team as worked on Marvels, which was also published in the 90s. If you don't know what Marvels was about, it was an inside look at the universe of the Marvel Universe as told from the eyes of the average everyday man. It was about a reporter and a photographer who would go around just photographing superheroes as they happened. And it was his point of view just as a normal person without superpowers. It was really good stories, really touching and heartfelt sort of stuff. It was a really good, I can't say it enough, it's really good. I remember reading it 2 or 3 times. I might read it again after reading this. But this one, it's the same team, and it follows along the same lines, pretty much. It's about this place called Astro City, which is pretty much just superhero town. Superheroes everywhere. It's a common everyday thing to see the biggest names in superherodom just walking down the street. Excuse me. I'm talking too much. My voice is getting hoarse. But yes, that same type of story is just like the inside look at a big superhero universe. And I'd say they play it off pretty well. They know what they're doing for sure. It's like this first story is about this character who's actually on the cover, the Samaritan, and he's very much a sort of Superman type. He works at a newspaper, the cape and the emblem and the red and blue and everything. Very much a Superman thing. But what this one does is he measures his life in seconds. The seconds it takes him to fly from place to place to save this person or that. There's one point in here. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. It's really, really good. What is this? Here it is. He takes 2 extra seconds to kind of slow down and let this little girl see him as he was saving her cat from a tree. And because of that, a man in Boston almost dies. It literally says that in the text. Which, for the whole theme of the thing, is really, really sort of touching in that regard, because he's the fastest man alive, pretty much, the most powerful. He's measuring the lives in seconds for the amount of people he can save to get from place to place. And the busiest man on earth, really. No time for himself. Except when he falls asleep and he can just dream about flying. He can fly anyways, but he never has time to enjoy it. And this whole day he's flown maybe 55 seconds. That's what it is. But in his dreams he can fly for as long as he wants. And I thought that was a pretty good story. That one works pretty well. This story and the last one here, there's 6 issues of Astro City in this volume. This one and the last one are the only ones that actually focus on superheroes, sort of their personal lives, sort of. And those are pretty good stories. Actually, that last one is the Samaritan goes out on a date with another superheroine. And, they have their differences during the date, and it leads to this whole big thing, but, they're friends at the end of it. That's not what I'm going to get into. The premise for this one, just 2 superheroes going out on a date, could get really boring. What they've done to prevent that is, here in the background, behind the main panels, they just show bits of action from other superheroes doing superheroics, which keeps the reader engaged. So that's a really good part of that. The main story is good, but also this background stuff works really well. One part, though, where it maybe doesn't hold up so well. Let's see if I can find it. There's a story here about a thug who sees a superhero without his mask on. Let's see. This guy here, he's running away from a job when he sees the superhero of this story, Jack in the Box, crouched over an alley taking off his uniform, his superhero costume. And this leads this thug to go on this investigation to figure out who his real identity actually is. He's seen his face, he just needs to put a face with a name. But once he does so, he gets worried that Jack in the Box is going to do a little detective work and find out who he is and come after him to silence him. Now, it's a good story. I liked it. It works really well. The problem was, I have no idea who Jack in the Box is. I don't know his character, what he does. I don't even know if he'd be willing to kill this guy if he caught him, if he knew that he'd seen him with his mask off. I don't even know if he'd be willing to kill him. Now, if this were a Batman story, it would work pretty well. You could flow along the same lines, but we, as an audience, know Batman doesn't kill. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's the point of the story. I'm rethinking this. Maybe that's the point. It lets us feel his paranoia because we don't know if he'll kill or not. That's actually pretty good. I retract my previous statement. Forget everything I just said. The story works really well. I mean, it is a bit odd. Yeah. My point was, the larger point I had was still stands, but the minor point of we don't know who Jack in the Box is, that fell apart. But the larger point I had, that we don't know these superheroes, kind of puts us at a distance from the stories. In Marvel's, we knew Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and all that, so we had a stronger connection to watching these superheroes from the sidelines, like the main character was doing. In Astro City, we don't know anyone. It's just a bunch of silly names and silly costumes, which, I could get to like. They all look really interesting. It's all really cool stuff. But we don't have that personal connection to these pretty much random strangers like we do in the Marvel Universe and with Marvels. So at that point, this is a shade below Marvels as a miniseries. But I still really liked it. There's something like 10 or 12 volumes of this out there, so I'm way behind already. But if you see us around at your local library or something, I'd say check it out. If you got a friend who's got it, grab it from them and read it. It's pretty fun, pretty interesting story. It's just another look at the world of superhero rogues you might not have thought of. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that, so I'll talk to you next time here on The Levite Lost.